Welcome back to the Intercourse Show. I am your host, Mr. B. Today we have a very exciting show for you. We are discussing another Kevin Samuels interview where he talks about relationship. The question of who is the prize? Is it the woman? Is it the man? And Kevin Samuels seems to interview a lady who feels that she should be the prize. So let's join this debate. I have not seen this before, so I'll react accordingly.
And then YAVE, you're next. Jasmine, go ahead and unmute yourself. Hello?
Hello.
Okay, you need to turn off every other window in the background. Turn off every other window, all YouTube and everything else in the background.
Okay.
All right. Your first name is?
How do you do that?
You close them down.
Let me do this. Oh, there we go.
Everybody in the comment, everybody in the
Did
Zoom.
that work?
Yeah. So your first name is what?
My first name is Jasmine.
What do you got for me, Jasmine?
I'm just on here. I was looking at what the topic was today as far as a woman's value and the children that they have. And I was having a discussion in the chat with a couple of the guys. I feel that I don't think children necessarily devalue you, but I do believe that it is baggage. That is something that a man would have to take on.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay. Do you have any children?
Yes, I do. I have 3.
Are you married?
No, no, I have not been married yet. I've been engaged.
Okay. Were you married to any of the, are they all from the same father?
Two separate dads. I was engaged to my oldest son's father.
Okay, so I got to ask you, as a woman, why don't you believe that children lower your value?
As far as because I'm still the same person, me as a person, I'm still the same with or without the children. My personality hasn't changed. What I offer hasn't changed. Anything like that.
Okay.
I do.
So you're talking. Okay. So let's go 300 years ago. 300 years ago. Would having children out of wedlock have lowered your value?
In that instance, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Normally.
Then I need you to listen to something.
Okay.
Human beings are still the same.
I agree with that.
Men are still the same. If 300 years ago it lowered your value, well, in 2021, it lowers your value.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. But I feel that the times have changed.
Men haven't. Where'd I get this from? Where'd I get this talking point from? Where'd I get it from?
Probably from yourself, like how you value.
No. How long have you been watching my platform or my programs?
I just joined this month, and I've been watching you for maybe another month and a half or 2 prior to that.
Then if you've been watching me for a month and a half, it should be abundantly clear. And I talk with facts, figures, data, statistics. I talk about what men want. But see,
right.
I find it interesting that women, when they don't want to hear something, they can all of a sudden block out everything that I know you have had to hear. I said it in this broadcast 3 times, and I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about what men want. How often are you around men who want to get married?
Not that often. I don't know.
Well, then I challenge you to do this. Go find a bunch of marriage-minded men with no children and ask them, does a woman with children have the same value as a woman without children.
Okay.
See, your value is lowered because, one, like it or not, even though we don't put the same price on it, you're not a virgin.
That's very true.
But not only are you not a virgin, there is actual physical proof that you've had sex 1, 2, 3 times, and you have given a man the most valuable thing you can give a man, your womb.
Correct.
That means that if a man you were going to marry, he would be depositing the 4th occupant, and the previous 3 did not have to marry you. Men don't want to pay more than a previous guy did.
I agree with that.
So it lowers your value.
What Kevin Samuel said is absolutely correct. A man is always looking at what the market price is for the woman he dealt with. If he's dealing with a woman that, for whatever reason, was dealing with everybody else, she got babies for everybody else, he's going to see that as just a good time. You know what I'm saying? He's not really trying to wife that up and then be responsible for everybody else's children with this lady. You know what I mean? So most men are going to have their time, but they're not signing up for a lifetime. And it is true. There are plenty of women nowadays who even use this in terms of sex, for instance. This lady got 3 kids with 3 different dudes, and she's telling you she's a born-again virgin at 44. Miss. You were just with your ex-boyfriend, you was busting it down for 2 months with that guy. And you were virgin? You a born-again virgin now because you found the Lord? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with finding the Lord. Ladies, seek the Lord. He wasn't lost, so he's glad you found him. But you got to understand how it sounds when you're saying that to a grown man. A grown man who takes himself seriously is going to think you're a fool for saying that. And let me tell you why. It's because you're not living by the standards you want him to see you in. You don't preserve your body. You don't preserve yourself the same way that you expect him to preserve your body. So if that's the case, why do you expect him to pay a price higher than you were willing to offer your body to the last guy? That's when a guy starts doing the calculation in his head. He might play along with it, but in reality, that's not where he's not on that time. And what he just said is an uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't want to hear. A lot of women don't want to hear. They don't want to hear that men are just not some like mixer fix-its that comes along that whose life purpose is to figure out how to fix your situation. That's not what it is. Now, that's not to say certain men won't take up the mantle and step up, especially if they care and like you and see potential in you. There are plenty of men who will do that. So I take nothing away from the men who sign up to do that. But for the women who thinks that they can always fall back on that, you know, you're playing a very sticky game. Because even when you have a guy who's willing to do it, you know, it's going to come with some sort of consequence. A guy may be willing to hold you down, but he may not give you his undivided attention. He may not give you his full devotion, right? You may be one of a few different ladies he's dealing with. Because, honestly, I mean, you're no saint yourself. So these are things to think about. And I think it's important that somebody says this out loud because it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
I can understand where you're coming from.
So I'm curious. So, but in your mind, it was because I'm the same person.
Right. I'm referring to value as far as what I would bring to the marriage personality wise.
But are you the same person?
Not the same person as I was when I was 19 and had my first kid.
No. You're not the same person you were before you had a child.
No, because I was a kid.
No. It was because you had no children. You may have also, see, two things can be true at the same time. Mm-hmm. You may have been a kid, but you also weren't a mother. You look at life differently now as a mother versus if you had banking at 23 with no kids, you still would have been a kid in your mind, but it would have been childless. They're not the same. You're a mother. Case in point. You find the man of yours. Mm-hmm. You feel like God sent him to you. Mm-hmm. Okay. You feel like the angels delivered you to them and it's stamped on his head, God sent. Right? Ready? You got to choose between your children's life or your husband's life. Who do you pick? There you go. That is all we need to hear.
You're right.
Because your primary your biological imperative is changed. As soon as you had a child, your biological instinct says to protect the child. And see, if you and me were together, that child will at least be mine. So I'll be willing to die for you to protect my child because you got it into the next generation. But if that child's from another man, I'd have to die for another man's seed to keep going.
Valid point. Once again, he hit it on the spot. It is true. It's a tough conversation to have, but the way he framed it is actually spot on. When you are dealing with somebody who has children, her maternal instincts are all the way kicked in, and she's generally speaking going to always choose her children most of the time. There's some women who don't, but she's mostly going to pick her children. And I think a man who understands that he's not dealing with somebody who is bearing his children, he's dealing with somebody who bore somebody else's children. So he always will come second in her mind. And for some men, it's okay. But for other men, they don't want that. Not if they have the option to, start from scratch. So that calculation is happening, ladies, whether you like it or not. It does happen. And, Kevin Samuels, definitely is right about what he's pointing out.
That ain't how we work.
Well, when you put it like that.
Yeah, that's what I need you ladies to understand. It's not just a thing to ding you ladies and be like, no, guess what? You made a mistake and you got to pay for that mistake. That's not it. It's to really get you to understand that when a man comes in a house, or whatever his residence is, an apartment, a townhome, a house. Mm-hmm. And if he's paying 100% of the bills or 50% of the bills, he's still feeding. Part of his resources are going to pay for 1, 2, 3 other men's children. And if he has a child with you, anything he would put in, he can't provide for his kid and not provide for the other, right?
That's true.
So that means if he put in $100 to the family, just by division, $25 will go to his kids and the $75 will go to the other kids. Versus if there were no other kids, $100 of his dollars will go to his kids.
Right.
It's just how we think. I mean, this is the reason in the animal kingdom when males take over females, they tend to wipe out the cubs.
That is also true. I appreciate you taking the time to kind of break it down in this way, because the way that I was interpreting what you were saying prior to, without you going into detail as such, made me think that the value you were referring to was more so me as a
moralistic.
person.
It was moralistic. It's like, man, you're a bad person for having kids.
Correct.
No, it's not a moralistic thing. It's really just it's very pragmatic for men. Now there are people who moralistically believe that, but that's not what we're talking about on a fundamental person to person level.
Okay.
So, all right, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. See, you can have a conversation with people as you match energies. All right. Hi, how are you? I'm good. How old are you? Oh, happy birthday. What men are good enough for modern women? Okay.
So I just want like a man who actually works and gets out there and make things happen.
Are you a New Yorker too?
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn in the house. Okay. You have any kids?
Yeah, she's 10.
Okay. And were you married to her father?
No.
Why was he not good enough to marry?
I think we were both not in that headspace at that time.
Okay. You were 26 or 25 or 26?
Yeah, I was 25.
Does he have any other kids?
No, he didn't at the time. He has one now.
Okay. But now you're looking for a man who, do you want any more kids?
I do.
How many more?
As many as I could have. 36. I'd say 3.
And what would a man need to make in Brooklyn to support a family of a 10-year-old, 3 kids, a wife, and him? That's a family of 6. How much money would he need to make?
Well, in Brooklyn and the way it is, like about 100,000 or so. That's with me working.
And what do you make?
I make 60 right now.
Did you hear the previous caller?
Yes, I did.
She was in Long Island. She was in Long Island. Listen, she was in Long Island. This is why I need you guys to understand how inconsistent you ladies' math is when it comes to calculating men. You're in one borough. She's in another. She's 34 with a 12-year-old. You're 36 with a 10-year-old. She wants 1 kid and a man making 100,000 for a family income of 2. You want 4 kids for a family of 6 with a family household, but you still want to make 100,000.
Yeah, I know.
But listen, hold on just a second. An audience, I need you to understand why men who are in this category have options, because every woman seems to want these guys.
That's ideally, right? But like I said, I just really want somebody who's responsible and actually works.
First off, ideally, ma'am, a family of 6 on $160,000 in Brooklyn, no, ma'am.
I'm willing to move too.
but that first off, I say that because the cost of living is too high. I say that because you can't overtalk me. Because when I start talking about math, I think women start getting uncomfortable because, no offense, but y'all just really don't seem like y'all really understand how much it costs to facilitate a life. You're talking about 3 additional kids if you could have them. You make 60 and you got a 10-year-old. All right? That's a lot. You'd have to, a family of 6, you're talking $300,000, $400,000 a year to live a middle class. But you said even just unrealistic on the numbers. Because then we got to ask, what does he want? And what is he going to get? Again, why can't you ladies just deal with date average guys? He works at the MTA.
I'm willing to date a guy with the MTA.
Okay, but he's making $45,000 a year, and he ain't gonna make no more. That's it. That's all he's gonna make until retirement. $45,000.
And I'm okay with that, honestly.
Okay, cool. Then you are doing far better than most. You are far better than most because you get far more men to pick from. If you're willing to date a man who's right there in the majority of guys, if you're being serious, you got far more options. But having 3, 4 additional kids, 2, 3 additional kids, that's going to be a lot of financial strain on $100,000 in Brooklyn. That's just too much. But
Let's move out of Brooklyn.
okay, well, you better move to Oregon. Oregon up in the space.
So in this clip, we have a 32-year-old single mother with 3 children from 2 different relationships who confidently believes she's still the prize in the dating market and deserves a man who meets a very specific set of standards. Now, right away, Kevin starts asking his usual questions. How old are you? What are your relationship goals? What kind of man are you looking for? And most importantly, what makes you believe you qualify for the type of man you're asking for? And honestly, that's where the conversation starts getting uncomfortable. Because throughout the discussion, she talks a lot about what she wants. She wants a successful man, a committed man, a financially stable man, a man who will accept her circumstances without hesitation. And while there's nothing wrong with having preferences, Kevin immediately begins asking a different question. What does that man want? And that's where things begin to shift, because Kevin argues that many people focus heavily on their own expectations without spending enough time considering the expectations of the people they're trying to attract. And honestly, that's one of the biggest themes in this entire exchange. Then the conversation moves into accountability, because every time Kevin asks about her dating results, she points toward what men are doing wrong. Men don't appreciate good women. Men are intimidated. Men don't want commitment. Men don't understand her value. But Kevin keeps bringing the focus back to outcomes. If your current approach is working, where are the results? If your standards are realistic, why are you still frustrated? And if you believe you're the prize, what evidence do you have that the market agrees? Those are the questions Kevin keeps asking. And honestly, you can feel the tension building with every answer. Then Kevin shifts into something deeper. Choices and consequences, because he points out that every major life decision has long-term effects. Relationships, family decisions, career choices, personal habits, all of them shape future opportunities. And Kevin argues that people often want to discuss their current desires without honestly evaluating how past decisions may influence their present circumstances. Not as punishment, not as judgment, but simply as reality. Then the conversation turns toward modern dating culture, because Kevin suggests that social media often encourages people to focus almost exclusively on what they deserve, what they should demand, what they shouldn't tolerate. But far fewer conversations focus on self-improvement, adaptability, and understanding the expectations of potential partners. And Kevin pushes that point throughout the clip. Then comes one of the strongest moments in the conversation. Kevin asks whether confidence without self-awareness can become a problem, because confidence is valuable. Believing in yourself is important. But if confidence prevents honest self-evaluation, it can sometimes create unrealistic expectations. And honestly, that's a lesson that applies to everyone, not just dating. Then comes the biggest takeaway. Because beneath all the debating and frustration, this conversation is really about self-awareness. It's about understanding that attraction, relationships, and dating outcomes aren't determined solely by how we see ourselves. They're also influenced by how others perceive us, the choices we've made, and the value we bring to a relationship. At the end of the day, this clip is about accountability, dating expectations, self-awareness, and understanding that successful relationships often require a realistic assessment of both what we want and what we offer. You don't have to lower your standards, but you do need to understand how the dating market works and whether your expectations align with your results.
Okay, that was our man over at Pearl Media. Definitely great commentary, because I actually believe that he summed it up perfectly. It is absolutely true that everyone's got to wish the demands that they have from their partner, that they're expecting this person to fit this mold, to do this for them, to provide this, to provide security, to do this. But oftentimes we don't think about what the person is expecting of us. And when you're prepared to be in a relationship, I think you need to take the time to not just ask yourself, what are you expecting, but also, are you capable of fulfilling whatever the expectations of your partner is? So if your partner's expectation is that you're going to be present, you're going to be reliable, you're going to be loyal. Can you fulfill that? Or is that too much of them to ask you? If your partner's expectation is that, you're going to do something that maybe is not in your ability to do. Let's just say you're dealing with a man who wants to live a swingers lifestyle. And now, in order to be with him and give him the freedom to live the life he wants to live, he now expects you to offer your body up to a bunch of strangers at various parties and things of that nature. Is that something you can sign up for and you can be okay with, that you can live with? If it's not, you can't meet that expectation. And oftentimes you hear a lot of people with their list of demands, but they're not taking the time to ask, what does my partner expect of me? And that's the part where I feel a lot of these women have some reality checks. He was simply saying most men who may want family, who may want to connect with the woman, are also seeking a list of things. Besides what your needs are, there's also needs that they may have. And if those needs can't be met, then that means they have to compromise themselves in order to fulfill your needs. And most of the time, people won't do that for too long. And so, it's a lesson on both sides. If you're a man and you're with a woman, understand that it comes with expectations. And you have to ask yourself, are you willing to step in and meet the expectations that she has of you when those expectations comes? And if you're not, it's likely that the relationship may not last. Same thing vice versa. If a man's coming home to a wife that don't cook for him, that don't sleep with him, that don't give him peace, that is not adding value to his life, that's complaining all the time, that's causing him stress, that's not what he's expecting from the relationship, right? So that might not be a comfortable situation for both parties. So, keep that in mind as you decide, to put yourself out there in the dating world or to find a partner. Are you making yourself available, and are you willing to meet the expectations of your partner? That's it for me on this particular topic. I ask that you guys weigh in, like and subscribe to the show if you're not already connected, but also leave your comments. This is called the Intercourse Show because we want to have conversation. I want to hear your feedback. I want to get your point of view, and maybe that might be very enlightening to some of our viewers. So tap in, let us know what your thoughts are. And again, stay blessed until we speak again. God bless.